Hi, this is Tim at Barefoot. So I thought I'd do a quick little session on the application stack which we use to build the Barefoot customer support portal and the website, has to be said. Just because, we've got no secrets here. We're using tools and services that are widely available to build the applications that we've been required to build. So here we go. It's a bit of a rundown. We'll go front to back, and it will just give you an idea of how we pulled this together. In addition to the informatic which is below this video, it sort of shows you the process flow for the pipeline ingestion, chunking and vectorization of the database into the vector database, and how those kind of differing agents have differing roles within the application. So without further ado, let's crack on. Okay, excuse me if I refer to my notes. I am 52 and my brain doesn't always work. So front end, what we got? React and TypeScript, pretty standard. Vite for the build tool, Tailwind, style sheets, lovely. Frame of motion for those funky little animation things we've got with, joining up for the informatics. That was a new piece of kit I'd not tried before, but yeah, it seems to work well with the website. We've got React Query to draw data out, and we've got React Markdown, so the output from the chat window to format those, because they were pretty average to start off with, but that's a cool little bit of kit to play with. Get into the back end. So we're using Node.js, Express and TypeScript. Drizzle ORM to manage the data retrieval. Zod for validation, Bicrypt for authentication, and Express Session for session management. All important stuff. Database, well, it's tried and tested and pretty much my favorite to work with other than MongoDB. It's Postgres, and we use the PG vector functionality within that. And then we use Connect PG Simple, which is the session store as well. AI and embeddings. So for the agents, we used Anthropic's Claude Sonnet for all 5 agents. So for the routing, escalation, how to, yep, can't go wrong. Might be a bit heavy on the cost, but we'll see how we go with that. And we use Voyage AI for the code optimized embeddings as well. So yeah, that was a new one on me. Enjoyed putting that together. Getting surrounded by dogs. Infrastructure, which is really my bag. So as a AWS solutions architect, this is, what I really enjoy putting together. It's about the deployment of those applications into production environment, making sure that everything sits together how it should be. Now, I'm going to do another session on that in the future, but for now, all we really need to say is this has been deployed into AWS ECS Fargate, so that's containerized compute. Built locally on Docker and built and deployed into AWS Fargate. There's a whole load of other stuff around it, mostly around networks, but we'll get to that at a later stage. So for the CI/CD stuff and the automation, Docker for containerization is already mentioned, so basically build local, push production. GitHub Actions for build and test, which is very good. And for the webhook for the orchestration, so basically once the action is checked in to trigger the ingestion, which pulls the new code into the vector DB, we use N8N. So yeah, again, it's the first time using that. Pretty simple, drag and drop. As long as you kind of know what you're doing, it's pretty good. Developer tooling. So my favorite, and has been for a little while, is use of Cursor. Cursor, because it's an IDE which I genuinely I feel comfortable with. It's something I know, it's Visual Studio, right? Which is great. So not only can I see code being generated, but also when it comes to troubleshooting, it's an environment which I'm comfortable and happy with. I tend to kind of code pair that with Claude. So, get Claude to help me with the prompts and help especially, help me with the prompting and make sure that I've got a clear direction on what I'm asking Cursor to do. It tends to work pretty well. DrizzleKit for schema management and TSX for TypeScript execution. So the portal and the website and the two applications that have been developed previous to that, the Barefoot small business application and the trade version, which is currently in development, those have been built very much around the same stacks. So I try to keep it as similar as possible. That helps with my knowledge. It helps with the way that I like to implement things into AWS, and it seems to be working quite nicely. It also gives continuity of the output. So that was my little rundown. Have a look at the little animation below. Any questions, please get in contact via the contact page or message me on LinkedIn. That's great. Thank you very much, and thanks for your time.